Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another brand new video. If you guys are new here, my name is AJ, and today I am going to be talking about my fall TBR. Fall just started a few days ago, and I wanted to let you guys know what I had in mind for reading during this season. Fall is not that long. We have until now through the end of November, so it's not really that long. It's roughly about 2 months. Well, it is basically 2 months, and in a month, I used to be able to read quite a lot more books during the summer, but now with school and everything, I can maybe only finish two books if I'm lucky, maybe three if I'm very lucky, depending on the size of the book. Right now, I'm still currently reading the second Mistborn book, and I haven't really gotten that far into it, just because I haven't really found the proper time to read. And I like reading for a little longer sessions, so I haven't really had that time. And I'm trying to finish that book, but hopefully I can finish that soon. And once I do finish that, I will probably start one of these. I don't know if I would go to the third book straight away. Um, but starting off, let's just kick it into what I had in mind for fall. And I had a few honorable mentions, I guess, that these are up for debate. And if you guys think I should consider these a little more and should put them on my list and on my fall TBR, let me know down in the comments. But starting off, we have The Six of Crows, and I got the little bundle, so I got both books for this one. I almost got the hardcovers, but I got the paperbacks. They were just a little cheaper, and I got this during an Amazon sale. I forget which one it was. I think it was like the buy two get one free or something like that. But I got these for a fairly good price, and I heard some mixed reviews about them. I think a lot of people have been saying this series is better than Shadow and Bone, that series, the Shadow and Bone trilogy. So I'm excited to read this, and I feel like for some reason, like crows and stuff makes this feel like fall and autumn and Halloween kind of vibes. So I've been considering this, but it is another series, and I don't really know if I want to start another series. But the thing that's kind of also intriguing me about reading this one is that they have a show on Netflix. As you guys can see here, there's a little fake Netflix sticker, and I really don't like little fake stickers. This one's not horrible because it's kind of small and like in the very bottom corner, so it's not too bad. But I enjoy reading books and then watching the show adaptation or the movie adaptation after it. So I kind of want to watch the show, but I know I should read the book first. And one thing that movie that I didn't do that for was A Man Called Otto, and I read the I watched the movie before reading the book. Well, I actually haven't read the book yet, but I was gonna read the book. I think the book is A Man Called Ovi. I almost read that book first, and then I just couldn't. I wasn't feeling it, so I put it down. But then I ended up watching the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. And I don't know. I kind of regret not reading the book first, and I don't know if I'm gonna read the book now. But I want to read these books before watching the show. Definitely, I feel like if I read or if I watch the show first, I probably won't read the books. So I want to read the book so I can watch the show. But that's one of the honorable mentions. Let me know if I should consider this one a little more. And before I actually go on to the next one, I also just wanted to mention a lot of the times before I read a book, I normally have like no idea what the books are about. I just kind of know that people recommend them, and I normally never know what the plot is. So Six of Crows, I think it is like some people doing heist. I believe that's kind of all I know. But let's get into the next one. We have Babel. This one I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about, and I've been wanting to get this one for a while. I got this kind of early on in my reading journey, but I haven't read it yet. I think it was mostly because people said it's a little bit harder to read and the language in it. And I think it's a dark academia and they're like at Oxford. And I believe I read the acknowledgments, and she said something about how criticizing the Oxford like kind of writing in it, and I'm not really sure what that means. I kind of forget what she says. Anyways, though, I feel like this is a very good fall book, and just even like the black and gold cover and the gold font and the birds and everything makes it seem like a very fall book. I don't know if I want to read it though. I've been very kind of intimidated by this book a little bit. It's not that long, but it is a little chunky in a way. Let me know if I should read this one. I know some people really love it or they really hate it. So let me know. I think it seems like it might be a little boring and I just might have to read at the right time. For the next book, I have another one people have mixed feelings about. These are all kind of in the beginning honorable mentions because I know a lot of people have mixed feelings about it. And if more people were excited about these books, I'd probably consider them more. But this one is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And this one is also black and gold, and it is a paperback. And this book I've also wanted to get for a little bit, and I know some people either really love it or really hate it. And I don't know, I've been wanting to read this book, but just the mixed reviews about it makes me want to read other books instead. And I think this one is about a girl that like can live forever, but every day like people forget who she is. But then she finds a dude that can remember who she is. I'm not sure. I think people said this book is very slow, so I don't know if I want to read it, but I know a lot of people like it, and something about it makes it seem very fall vibes to me as well. The next one is a very popular book, and it's kind of the reason why I got it in the first place. Well, I got it from a secondhand bookstore, and I got it for fairly cheap, but I know this is kind of like a special edition cover, but I got this one fairly cheap and I saw it was kind of hidden in the corner at a used bookstore. So I picked it up and it was because I knew the name too, and the cover was kind of cool and it wasn't like the original gold cover that I normally see. So I got this one. I know there's a lot of hype about it, but I think this is like a romantasy, so there is mostly romance in this. And I know a lot of people that read fantasy don't really like this book, or epic fantasy, I should say, or high fantasy, don't like this book. And I just want to give it a shot. I want to see what I actually think about this book, but I don't know if I would really enjoy it. I don't really think it's really my genre or my taste in books. But I just want to see what the hype's about and just to be able to say that I read this book and tried it. But yeah, I just want to be open minded and give this book a shot. I feel like this is a good book to read in the fall and just the dragons and stuff in it. I think this is about a girl that goes to like a dragon university or something like that where they learn how to fly dragons. I'm not too sure the whole premise on it. I just know that a lot of people talk about this book, and yeah, I just want to be open minded and give my thoughts and opinions on it or have my own thoughts and opinions about it. But I don't know if I really want to do that just yet when there's other books that I have that I want to read a little more than this one. And for the next book, we have Recursion by Blake Crouch. And this is a book that I actually do want to read in the fall. These next few books are actually books that I know that I'd really want to read. And this is one of them. I read Dark Matter and I really enjoyed Dark Matter. And I know some people say Recursion is just slightly a little better than Dark Matter. I like Dark Matter. I like the show that came out with it. And I want to read another book by Blake. And I feel like this is a great one to read. Honestly, I have no idea what this book is about, but I just want to read another Blake book. I like the sci-fi and the last one, the sci-fi and the thriller, and the last one. And if this is anything like Dark Matter, I know I'll enjoy this too. And the good thing about this is it is like a little smaller than most of my other books. So I think I just kind of like that shorter, fast-paced books. It's a little easier to get through these kind of books and less intimidating. So I want to read it, and I probably will read it maybe after I finish Mistborn just to change up my vibe and not read another long book. Now, if you guys seen some of my other videos, this next book might be a little bit predictable, and that is Iron Gold by Pierce Brown, which is the next book I need to read in the Red Rising series. And I do want to read this book pretty soon. I also maybe might read this after Mistborn. It's either this or Recursion. Honestly, I don't know. It's still up for debate, but I do want to read this book fairly soon. I'll probably read it during this fall season. And that's just because I really enjoyed the Red Rising series and I don't want to just move on from it and forget about the next three books that are out right now. And I want to read this one soon just so I don't forget people's names and stuff. I don't really know what's going to happen in this book. If it just follows what happens after Morning Star. It looks like reading it, the back of here, it says a decade ago. So this looks like it might happen 10 years later from Morning Star. I do want to see what happens to the characters after what happened in Morning Star. And yeah, I am excited to read this book and get back into the Red Rising universe. So hopefully, maybe I'll read this one soon, but I definitely want to read this one during the fall season. Now, the next book I had on my fall TBR was actually a book I wanted to read in the summer, but I believe I might have started Mistborn, so I couldn't get to this book during the summer. And that is The Sword of Kaigen. I know a lot of people talk very highly of this, The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang or Wong. I'm not sure which one it is. Might be Wong. But yeah, I know a lot of people talked very highly of this book, and I do want to read it. It is a little chunky, but it's kind of shorter, so maybe it's not as long as I think it is. But it is a little intimidating for me to want to start because it seems like another long book, and I don't know if I want to do that right now. But I do maybe want to read this in fall, just so I can finally get my own thoughts about it. I honestly don't know what this one really is about. I have no clue, but I know a lot of people say this book is really good, and I know a lot of people put this on their top fantasy list, maybe even top five on their fantasy list. So I'm very excited to start this book. I just don't know when exactly I'm going to do that. Hopefully soon. But yeah, let me know if you guys read this book and enjoyed it because that might motivate me to actually want to read this one and start it soon. Now, these next few books I actually don't have physical copies of, but the next one is Hidden Pictures, and this is a thriller, I believe. But thriller wise, I do think this is probably the next thriller that I want to read. I do enjoy thrillers, not really freedom of fatting kind of thrillers, but I do enjoy thrillers, and I want to read a few more thrillers. So I think this might be the next thriller. I'm not sure if Recursion's a thriller actually, or if that's more sci-fi, but if that's not really thriller, then this might be the next thriller that I read. And on the cover, Stephen King gave a review and said that he loved it, so maybe this is the motivation that I need to read this book. But this one seems a little interesting. I just know that it has some like type of drawings in it, and I'm not sure how they correlate to the actual story of the book, but does seem a little kind of spooky, a little kind of haunted, and that does really give a lot of fall Halloween kind of vibes. So I feel like this might be perfect for the fall season, and this is one thriller that I think I'll probably be reading during this fall season. The next book on the list is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I believe that's how you pronounce the last name. But this book is actually one that I started in the summer, but I ended up just DNFing it. But I want to give it another shot. I had the physical copy of this book, but I ended up returning it or exchanging it for another book. I started it and I just wasn't really enjoying it too much. I feel like it just wasn't the right book to read in the summer, but I do think it gives a lot of fall vibes. It is pretty dark, but I stopped reading it because I thought it was just gonna be a romantasy and romance heavy. And then once I returned it, I heard a lot of people start saying that this book is really good and they enjoyed reading it. So I'm more motivated to read this now. I've seen a lot of people talk very highly about this book, and I might enjoy this. I do want to give it another try, but when I was reading it, it was kind of giving Venom vibes, but like a respin on Venom. And I just kept thinking about that, and it was kind of making me disconnect with the book a lot. But I might read this book this season just because I feel like it is a very fall vibe book. I do think I remember kind of everything that happened in it. I probably wouldn't start from the beginning again, but yeah, I probably will finish it. I have it on my Kindle, so maybe I can fly through it a lot quicker than when I had the physical copy. I think the only thing about One Dark Window is that it is another series, but it's only a duology, kind of like The Six of Crows, but that isn't that long compared to other series. So that is kind of a pro, but I honestly don't like starting too many series, and I feel like once I do start series, I like to finish them. So if I do read One Dark Window, I'm not sure if I have time for the other books on my list. So that is kind of one thing that always kind of stops me from starting new series, but maybe I'll start it and see if I enjoy it, and then if I do, maybe I might read the second one. Speaking of long series, this next one actually is a very long series, which is the Sun Eater collection or a series, the Sun Eater series, and that is the first book, The Emperor of Silence. And I really want to start this book. I know a lot of people talk highly about this series, especially later books in the series, like book 5 and 6, I believe it is. But yeah, I want to start this series. This is the first book, and I don't know. It is another long series, and I don't know if I want to commit to another series. But I do kind of want to read this first book and see how I feel about it, and I am very excited to read this book sometime, hopefully soon. I'm not too familiar with the series, but I know of other people that enjoyed books that I also have read and enjoyed, really enjoyed the series. So I do want to start that series. But that is the last book on this fall TBR. It was quite a few books. I probably won't get through all of them, especially the first books that I showed that are very up for debate and low consideration so far from me. But I think the ones that I do have planned out to read in the fall do seem very exciting. I know this is very subject to change throughout my mood and what I'm feeling and how books make me feel after I read them. These are kind of the ones I have planned so far to read. Let me know what you guys think about this TBR list, and if you guys have any recommendations for the fall. Also, let me know what you guys are reading this fall. I'm very interested to hear that as well. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to hit that like button, smack that subscribe button as well, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you guys know when I upload. Also, comment down below what you guys are reading as well and what you guys think I should read. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Don't forget to stay fresh.